Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Lorelai. It's been quite a while since the last recording. I'm running into a lot of distractions, to say the least, to play this game, and I really, for this game in particular, feel like I would love to be able to say that I'm just savoring the meal, but that's not really the truth. It's just I've been distracted. Plenty of other games lately, in the past year or two, I've gotten fairly distracted around playing games too. But this is definitely one that does not benefit from that, certainly. None of them really do, but I know we're in the flashback, so we are acting in our first job as a carer and with a bunch of Alzheimer's people, and we're hoping mostly that this doesn't go that long, because if it does go that long, then we're going to end up having to take care of maybe all 11 of the Alzheimer's patients in this facility before we get back to the horror stuff.
It says Marjorie on the door.
I feel like there may have been somebody named Marjorie before, and then you have some famous art or famous looking art in the background here that I don't think for a second was hand drawn by the creator of this game. But honestly, that's kind of a great example of something that you don't really need to hand draw yourself if you're just putting art on a wall to decorate a wall. Actually, I guess if you kept a sharp eye out for it, you'd probably find a lot of places on walls in video games that could do with some decoration of some sort, and usually is missing decoration because nobody wants to license that stuff and spend the extra money on it. Here it is mood setting, I think. Let's see what's inside.
Hello, my darling. What a beautiful morning, isn't it?
Well, you come into this room
And we have Lorelai with us today.
and it's much darker.
She's a lovely young lady.
Not brightly
She's
lit.
helping us today.
See, let's say good morning instead of hello. It would be really funny if that is something that's gonna really matter, but suppose hello is a little bit shorter than good morning, and hi is clearly the shortest. A lot of these dialogue choices also seem to pick two and leave one out.
Good morning.
If anything, it definitely feels like she is she is going to be a visual representation of the horrors of aging and just how terrible life can be for people with dementia. If I look at this carpet, it seems like there's some black stains or specks in the middle of the screen, which could be any sort of nastiness, and to the right of that, right next to her bed, is some more stains. So we may be quickly going into bedpan territory. There's also seemingly no bathroom being shown from this side of the screen. Instead, there's just a sink that is out in the open, which that is kind of how hospitals work, but then they usually have a bathroom with another sink. Let's just be very nice to her. There's no reason to be mean to an old lady.
That's a very nice room, Marjorie.
Notice
Lovely flowers.
she has a seat.
I bet you have a big, loving family that thinks about you all the time.
Yeah, you probably should not bring that up.
As a matter of fact, it was Marjorie's 85th birthday yesterday.
Yeah, you shouldn't make assumptions, first of all.
Everyone came, didn't they?
But also,
Even your brother Derek from Australia.
they are certainly balancing this out versus the basically unloving family that let's see. So she very well, even though she may look old and decrepit, she might very well be like a mirror reflection of Lorelai. And like Lorelai's on one side, she's young. She has an unloving family. She's died young. On the other hand, we have a woman who seems to be being cared for fairly well. I mean, this is a pretty decently looking facility. Stains on carpets aside are an issue, certainly. And carpeted rooms in a caring facility is probably not the best move, but as long as they're wall-to-wall carpeting and not tripping hazard carpets, I could see it. So, in this case, would you call out stains on it? Should you call out stains in front of the client or the customer here? I would say no. If you're going to ask those questions, you ask it to the lady outside of earshot later on.
Okay, what now?
I wonder if I can walk.
Now, we get
I don't think
Marjorie
I am.
washed and dressed.
I don't think I can, actually.
Please take the 2 flannels from the sink. The white one is for the face. The brown one... You know.
Okay, so now I can walk. So, yeah, at a certain point, she should know what she was signing up for here.
They look kind of crunchy.
We also have some
Marjorie's
wardrobe.
clothes are kept in there.
And so it seems like we're going to bathe her. I don't know how much of that we're going to show.
Now fill up the sink with hot water.
Is she observing here, or is she just being told what to do? Yeah, it feels like maybe she's just being used here as the newbie, but frankly, the newbie does need to learn, so she may be getting a little abused here.
I wouldn't mind having a sink in my room.
And of course, the reasoning why she would want a sink in her room
She hasn't even got a toothbrush.
more around the pervy
She
father.
doesn't need one. She hasn't got teeth, Lorelai.
I still think if you're completely toothless, you'd want to brush dentures and gums on occasion.
Marjorie, my darling. It's time for your wash. Give us a hand, would you? She can't walk on her own.
Yeah. You would kind of want to see this.
Marjorie's clothes are kept in there. Shall we get some clothes for Marjorie?
Oh, we can do that in a minute.
Interesting. You would kind of want to see some response here to make sure she's still breathing. But we're not doing that. You also have to be incredibly careful now. Like, old people are very easy to break. Their skin easy to bruise or just completely peel off or cut. So lifting them out of a chair or helping them out of a chair is a danger in itself, that they might fall down and end in the floor. Falls are a #1 cause of accidents amongst the elderly.
So still. Almost like a wax figure. I wonder what she's thinking right now.
And we're just pressing A to use, where we're not really doing anything else.
And now we just need to get that nightie off.
Notice
It
that they...
felt wet.
Yeah. The night staff only put a small pad on her. They should have known better. Anyway,
Alright,
shall
so
we?
they're using overnight pads instead of bedpans. It's like, I guess your natural instinct is not to do this. Like, there is a significant portion of people, of which I probably would include myself, who just don't have the attitude or kindness in them to be a carer for the elderly. And it's only going to become a larger and larger problem as the baby boom generation in the United States gets older and older. So yeah, this is a very different type of scene. It can be taken as horrific or can be taken as very caring, although it is also kind of a great example of a scene that you would never bother to show in a TV show or a movie And most video games would never dare to show it either because it's too personal. It's not done in public. It's not shown. It's not talked about. A great example of that is the movie The Giver is based on the book The Giver. In the book The Giver, the main character does this exact job, and the movie completely ignores that and doesn't mention it.
Marjorie, could you lift up your arms for us, please?
But they're being fairly conservative
Right.
here to not
You're doing really well
animate
so far, Lorelai.
motions when they don't
Now
need to.
comes the tricky part.
Which is?
We have to wash her.
Hmm.
Now, some people struggle at first. I'll do it if it's too much too soon. But you are welcome to try. It's up to you.
I thought that... I'm not sure. I thought this was going to be a case of she's saying that the old lady with dementia struggles at first. And maybe that is what she's saying. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this whole action is basically you treating the Queen of Maggots or whoever you're seeing in the afterlife and doing her a favor. And that would be the reason why we went to sleep and didn't see that character yet, is because we didn't want it to be revealed that it's the same person. So, I guess we're going just on the good guy path, as it were. Non-gender specific guy phrase there. So yeah, we'll just do it. This may very well flash us to some more grotesque imagery, or just imagery of old naked lady.
I'll do it.
And then it took a long time for her to say that. Now we're zooming out, and I'm not controlling that, so I feel like this probably... Oh, no, it is zooming out, but... what happened to the items? Why did I pick up the wash rags or the flannels, and then...
So weird. Standing next to a naked old woman.
I don't know why they would have done that.
I'll just have a little stretch on the bed.
I don't think she would want to sleep on one of
And pretend it doesn't
the
smell of wee.
people's bed.
Am I doing it right, Maria?
Yeah.
She's not even
You know,
watching.
Marjorie used to be just like you and me. Young and pretty.
Notice that they
Full of life.
didn't bother to show the actual
At 17,
bathing.
she fell in love with George. And they were married for 50 years.
Interesting twist here.
Can you
Now we're
imagine?
starting to get
50?
backstory on Marjorie.
I couldn't even last 2 with my hubby. But
And
George,
we're zooming into the
bless his soul, was a
the
kind
image on the
and
wall,
gentle man.
which
He
that would be,
never hit his wife.
I assume,
God, it broke her heart when he died.
we just also
But
were
anyway,
given a
She
hint
was just
that
a little girl when the war started. And she saw it, you know? Bombs falling on London.
so
City
we
on
know our
fire.
coworker got hit by her husband, and she's telling stories of Marjorie, who is the old lady. So we've literally gone from a flashback to a flashback. It'd be weird if we start going through the tales of other people's experience. Wow. And then you've got some 3D modeling here. Although these could be pre-bought assets pretty easily. Like, wouldn't be that crazy to easily go to like the Unity store and find something that represented the bombing and the Blitz.
Oh my God, I think I dozed off. That's a comfy bed you've got here, Marjorie.
The Blitz destroyed a lot
Finished.
of the
I suppose we should find some clothes now.
London.
Yeah.
buildings,
Open the wardrobe and find something you like.
which then they had to rush very much to rebuild London, and I don't think they did the best job, in my opinion, and now they are in this weird quagmire where a lot of buildings that weren't destroyed in the Blitz are considered historical and they can't be torn down or remodeled, and all the other buildings were built cheaply in a rush and they're too expensive to tear down and remodel properly because London's real estate market is too expensive. It's very much like Tokyo, where there's just a vast majority of the population all crammed in a very small area.
Marjorie's clothes are kept in there.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep examining it, expecting it to say something different. Okay. So we have 3 choices here. This feels like this would be for Lorelai. A pick for Lorelai. This is a little too masculine, particularly considering how old Marjorie is. I'm a little surprised she has that. Also, in all fairness, wearing pants while being like incontinent is not the smartest move. I think this is cute. It's a little complicated with the sweater, but yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. Interesting sound effect there. I would have
the
thought
cardigan
it
skirt
to
combination
kind of
never gets old, I guess.
Hmm.
Wait, Lorelai. I'll help you with this.
Well, I'm glad she does help a little bit.
Marjorie. You look absolutely beautiful. Let's take you to the lounge so everyone can admire this smashing outfit.
So Marjorie's just not gonna talk at all. Which is an interesting trick,
All right,
certainly,
we've got one ready for the day.
to say,
Now we can go to Dorothy.
like,
She's only next door to Marjorie, where we've just been. Or we can try Alma. Her room's just past the nurse's station.
Alma is the name
Your
of
call.
the ghost in a game called Fear. Let's go with Dorothy.
Let's go see Dorothy next.
Okie doke. Let's go.
It's lovely and sunny in there.
Yep.
What's she thinking about, I wonder?
There is a deeper thought, certainly, with people with Alzheimer's. Like, at the moment, we have no evidence whatsoever that they've locked in any mental capacity, and they seem to be just completely gone. And at a certain point, it does become a moral quandary. Are you just keeping a non-thinking body alive while potentially just wasting resources and frustrating people completely?
So dark in here.
Yeah, this is a
Dorothy likes her sleep.
this is
She
a
could stay in bed all day.
different room. It
That's
doesn't have a
one thing we
window.
have in common, Dorothy and me. Because otherwise, she's a grumpy old hag, especially first thing in the morning. Hello, Dorothy. Rise and shine.
You can see Dorothy has balloons, so
Come on
apparently
now. I know you're awake.
this one at least
Now,
talks.
that's very rude, sweetheart.
So they start
Come on,
you one
lovely.
way.
Up we go.
I think Dorothy could use a bit of sun.
Hmm.
She's a large woman. Hopefully we won't have to drag her out of bed.
Richard's not here, darling. You know that.
Now we can't talk to the. This very much feels like this may be a male voice actor or just a younger female voice actor trying very hard to be as rude sounding as possible.
She just won't move.
Alright, well,
I think Dorothy could use a bit of sun.
Oh, you... boogers!
Of course, I guess quiet might be preferable. Here we've got basically the same stain here, but the bed's in a different place. Interesting. It changed to the dialogue prompt as soon as I walked far enough to the level. Let's see.
Top of the morning to you, Dorothy.
Yeah, we are dangerously,
Job done.
potentially
Elma's
going
up
to
next. I'll meet you outside her room.
spend a lot of time here. Thank goodness they just kind of skipped all of that.
I can get to the nurse's station from here.
Okay. Can't do anything with Dorothy. No.
It's lovely and sunny in there. This door leads to the kitchen.
Seems like we can kind of go wherever we want at that point, so that oddly opens the door to maybe just going somewhere else, but I don't see a reason why you'd want to wander around here either. Like, this is getting
Alma lives here.
this is getting very slow though. They're trying to speed it up, but
Alma! What in God's name are you doing on the floor?
what's all this broken
You okay?
glass?
I'm fine, dear.
And that's pretty typical
Come on the
too.
other
is
side and give me a hand,
for
Lorelai.
old people to fall down and have struggles and not want to be not reliant on anyone, so that they'll say they're fine when they're totally obviously not fine, and they'll try to lie and delude other people and themselves, because old people certainly don't want to have to become reliant after being independent most of their
She
lives.
must have fallen while getting off the commode.
So here we have like a commode bedpan. But is this broken glass or is it paper? Honestly, since they're not really nurses,
Lucky lady.
I
Not a scratch on
think
you. But
finding her on the floor probably
God, I'm gonna feel all that
deserves
lifting in my
a
back for a week.
ambulance call.
So thanks for that, Alma.
Like, you probably should, just for insurance reasons, I don't know how it is in the UK, but if somebody's fallen, you probably should do a full ambulance call, have the EMTs come and check her out, and then they can be ready to take her to the hospital or not. Old people, sometimes it is a revolving door of them being in and out of hospital facilities. Yeah, she's heavier than she looked. We're young and strong. We'll be fine. It's not her fault. Interesting. I'm not sure how I translate each of these options, and honestly, I don't know if these options really affect much. We can be nice and say it's not her fault, or we can say we're young and strong so we can overcome her fault. I guess is the best way I can integrate that. Or we could say, yeah, she's a big fat lady, which we don't want to do that.
It's not her fault.
I know. But now we have to write an accident report and clean this mess on the floor. What is it anyway?
I don't know. But I'll have a look.
All of these photos look like real photos, which that's interesting to say the least.
Well, she's lucky she hasn't broken anything.
Like they would need torn up paper. If they give her a commode, where's the toilet paper? If she can use that. Also, if they were going to give her a commode, why isn't it way closer to the bed? Like,
Looks like a letter.
we gonna get a
It's
puzzle?
A very old letter. A whole bunch of them, actually.
Should we violate an old person's privacy? Should we violate anyone's privacy? See, this is a weird position where in a video game, yes. Like, you would be sneaking through Skyrim, stealing objects left and right, reading old books and things left on dead bodies and that you just find randomly. But this game definitely has that different feeling to it. So I say leave it alone. Let's not be curious unless we get permission first.
You know, I don't want to read it.
If this old lady wanted people to read it...
It's her private stuff, isn't it?
Oh well. She wiped her bum with it, so it's probably nothing important. Come on, Alma.
I feel like I
Let's
missed
get
some
you ready before
backstory
someone
there.
takes your favorite garden view seat.
That might
Right.
be the beginning of an idea that I might want to play this game twice.
Now it's time for a coffee break.
What? So soon?
What do you mean soon? It's 10:30 already.
Really?
Time flies when you're having fun. I'll put the kettle on.
They're
But before
they're
we
rather
go,
close
can
to
you take
each
the dirty
other.
laundry upstairs and chuck it in the wash.
Yeah.
I've left the laundry bag by the nurse's station.
We were also told...
It's full of dirty nighties and wet sheets. Yuck.
Like, we were told not to go into the kitchen because the guy, like, smokes or drinks. And so I think I'll just stick to this. I'm just being such a good girl, as it were, that I think I am going to potentially miss out on content. Seems like none of these overhead lights are turned on in this game. You also would have gone and gotten a wheelchair when she fell. Like, that way you could have the wheelchair very, very close to the to Alma where she fell. I'm trying not to wander around, even though the game is definitely trying to make me think about wandering
There
around.
must be a lot of washing in a place like this.
Yeah, it seems like there's a decent amount looking at all the shelves.
That's where the dirty laundry goes.
Alright, so we'll use our dirty laundry with the washing machine. Apparently it all fit in one
all
load.
right?
I'm good. And you?
Mr. B just called. He won't be coming in today.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if
He
Mr.
crashed
B
his car this morning.
is kind of
Apparently,
Nobody.
some dog chasing a cat ran out in front of it, and he drove into a lamppost to avoid running them over.
interesting. My actions seem to have affected
Then
Mr. B.
I thought you mentioned a dog earlier. You wouldn't have anything to do with this, would you?
Interesting. Oh, come on, what are the chances? Sure, there's more than one black dog in this city. Apparently, there's no way to confess here. Don't lie.
Surely there's more than one black dog in this city.
I didn't say it was black.
No?
No. But it was, in fact. Mr. B mentioned that for some reason, and you knew. Interesting.
So what? I saw a black dog. It barked and growled at me. I found a way around, but it made me late. End of story.
We'll see.
She
We'll
is
see.
being setting
What
up
do you mean?
as a interesting. Well, let's just go with the nicest thing.
I'm doing my best here, so Please stop picking on me.
But Laura, I'm just trying to teach you some respect.
Yeah, I don't know if this is really coming down as she's just an abusive boss, or if there's some way this story's going to turn around, or if she is just going to be the bad guy. Let's see. Fighting back. We were told not to fight back with her, so let's not be rude.
Fine. If you feel like I lack respect, I'll try harder now. Having this job is important to me. I will do anything to keep it.
Sometimes that is certainly a case
In that case,
where
go and make us all a cup of tea.
new people at jobs, young people at jobs
Maria's
are
already on it.
treated.
Go on then. I'll be down shortly. Oh, I'd ask
they're
her if you've got
treated
plenty of milk in it. She
roughly
always forgets.
because older workers who are trying to have a full career are tired of seeing young people come and go flippantly, which, in all fairness, I would argue the fact that young people have the opportunity and ability to get bored with jobs and flippantly quit them as soon as they realize they don't want to work there for the rest of their lives is something to be applauded, not something to be upset that you can't do yourself. Like, older people have more responsibilities and end up getting stuck in jobs.
All
Or
right,
maybe they like their
the
job,
red
but
mug is yours.
It smells lovely.
they don't like
Oh, I met Zoe
co-workers
upstairs. She asked for a cup of tea as
coming
well.
and going.
Yeah, I made it. I always make it. The yellow mug is Zoe's.
Did you put plenty of milk in?
Yes.
Looks almost black to me.
Ugh, I don't know. I don't drink tea.
You know, we don't want to piss her off more, so you go ahead. I'll get more milk from the kitchen and join you in a minute.
Oh, you're a gem. Thanks.
Very
Wait,
British.
what about Nisha?
Oh, Nisha drinks water. She's all right.
So we do get forced into this area. We see that from the back, he barely looks animated at all. I feel like he's going to turn around and he's going to just be a monster. Like, I can't even interact with him.
That's a big fridge.
So it'd be funny. And probably about the right time. It's been like 30 minutes. This would be a good time to open the fridge and see your head in the refrigerator and then realize this guy is a psycho and he cut your head off. And that's what you saw earlier. Because I wouldn't be surprised if these stories are somehow connected, but also not in the same timeline. There's laxative. And then there's milk. Which I wouldn't put it past any kind of caring facility to put laxative in people's food, even though a doctor may not have prescribed that. But it's certainly dangerous, particularly in elderly people. You can easily kill someone by giving them laxative, by dehydrating them.
Semi-skimmed. Seems about right. I don't think Zoe should be using the full fat one.
Like, I'm pressing controls here, and it seems like we don't have any other options, which is weird because to me, it feels like there would have been some way to select the other ones. So,
There we go.
just take the milk, I guess.
Wait a second. What's this? No, I couldn't. Could I?
Like, why would you blow that up at this point? And I guess if you were just playing as a jerk up until this point, this would make sense, but I almost feel like if the game wanted you to feel confident in playing as a jerk, there needed to almost be a time rewind mechanism or something that set it at the very beginning to choose the bad path, be the bad guy. Sure, why not? I'm just gonna close the fridge. And we just walk out of there ignoring him, which I'm fine with. Yellow mug or red mug. The yellow mug is hers.
This is Zoe's. Let's add more milk before she starts another war.
Alright, so
Semi-skimmed milk. For those that pretend they're on a diet.
So she didn't check the expiration date. So weird spinning angle on that. Dutch angles on the camera.
Ugh.
So apparently she doesn't like
I'll just
milk.
leave it here for Zoe.
So now I have the coffee. And only the
I
coffee.
feel like I've really earned this mug of coffee.
Or is it coffee or is it tea? I guess I got coffee. And then just walking to the left gets you to this scene, which is very, very similar to a scene we saw in the cat lady.
Sunshine!
Is that a
Yay!
bottle
Praise the sun.
of alcohol?
What?
It's from
That's a squirt bottle.
Oh, never mind.
Alright, at this point, making a reference to Dark Souls, where they say praise the sun,
Do you want
even
one?
if that was in Demon Souls, which I don't think it was, but I'm not 100% sure, like, Dark Souls was a PlayStation 3 game. So, we are in a very, very weird timeline here, where they are making references to things that almost certainly would not have happened yet. But maybe you're just supposed to overlook that. Frankly, you probably are, because they probably are just little Easter egg references. Also, I would say I wasn't really pinning Lorelai as a character who would have been able to afford a PlayStation 3. So how she would have been able to play it is a little questionable. Although I guess her room was full of a lot of stuff. So I guess before the stepfather came in, they were fairly well to do. And they did say that her original father played with her to play like one of the Final Fantasy games. I think Final Fantasy VII, which that also seems to be the wrong timeline. That seems to be a later game. So I guess Lorelai is a slight gamer and slight punk rocker. If we're just going down the good guy path, smoking is probably not the good guy path option, so no thanks. Although, frankly, knowing that she dies less than 12 hours later, you might as well have her smoke.
No thanks. I don't smoke.
Oh, fair enough. I'd go on a killing spree without my fags, I think.
I'm fairly certain
blood
Lorelai
Really?
does
Don't seem
smoke
anything like that.
later on in the story.
Yeah, but
If
this
Lorelai
job
is the
can be
character I'm
so
thinking
bloody
of in the
stressful
cat
sometimes,
lady.
Like, you have no idea. I'd go mental.
It's
Oh,
not.
Go on, have one.
It's not super
It's not
surprising
gonna kill you.
that this lady is kind of a layabout, kind of lazy. She probably never had major passion to work in this kind of job, and I would say a lot of people in a lot of jobs, you're better off being a little layabouts and lazy and aren't really happy with the way their life has gone. So yeah, it's not like she's done absolutely nothing. I actually did once work with someone who for nearly 3 or 4 weeks had basically done nothing at all. to the point where I eventually had to talk to the boss about it. I'm like, oh, this guy is literally complaining and just browsing the internet for 8 hours a day. You know, do I want to be sociable and smoke or not? The sad fact is there is probably some sociable elements to smoking, but it is really a bad thing to be peer pressured effectively into smoking. I think I will say no, because like you can literally have one cigarette and that will start you down the path of a lifetime of not only just potential damage to your health, but also damage to your pocketbook. It's not like cigarettes are cheap.
No, really. I'm alright.
Your loss. I'm having 2 then.
Interesting. I wonder if I just killed her
So,
by having
why
her
do you want
smoke
to
2
work here of all
cigarettes.
places?
Seems like my choices are having unintended consequences, which that is probably true with any choice anyone ever makes, but they are getting revealed to us later on. So, because I love old people, nobody else wanted me. I couldn't afford to go to college. So she didn't go to college, which that also puts her in the age range of 18 to 19. Or at least, yeah, probably, because you're unlikely, at least, to have your first job and be out of high school and not be going to college. You're unlikely to be 20, 22 there, because that implies that you were just sitting around and doing nothing for several years. Not that that can't happen, it's just unlikely, unusual. Should we get down on this, on ourselves? Do we really love old people? Money. I think money is the right motivator here.
Well, I couldn't afford to go to college, so that kind of limits my choices. But I can't stay at home anymore either. The sooner I move out, the better.
I figured
And for
we'd
that,
get to
I need money.
that conversation fairly quickly.
Oh, so you can like rent a place.
Yeah. I was thinking more of a one-way ticket to New York. Yeah, that's insane. To go to one of the most expensive places possible. So, do you want to be practical and say, yes, I want to just rent a place and move out and see if maybe I could even take my sister with me? Although that really would not work well at all. Or do I want to be impractical and say, go to New York? Let's be practical.
Yeah. As long as I'm out of there.
The dynamic, at least
Sounds
for
like
your
family's pretty
perception
fucked up.
and your
It's mostly my
interaction with
stepdad.
your family,
He's just a big bag of shite.
would change if you moved out.
Has he?
I'd
You
never
may
let
still
him.
very well.
God, I'd rather die.
That was a quick jump.
But you know, it'll be okay. You'll stand on your own 2 feet and none of that will matter. And in the meantime, if you need a friend, I suppose you've got plenty of friends already.
All of my friends from school just moved on. We don't know that, so that'd be fairly presumptuous to say that. Well, there's Zach who lives next door. I've got too much poop at home to have friends. Let's talk about Zach.
Well, there's Zach who lives next door. He's a geek, alright. But he's kinda cool. He waited for me this morning just to give me an umbrella.
Which we didn't have that umbrella.
Zach? Is he American?
Nah, he just likes to be called Zach for some reason.
Let's see. Yeah, I suppose if Lorelai proved herself capable of being independent and was renting an apartment and had a job, and then Child Protective Services got called on her father, stepfather, and her mother, they might take the sister out of that and put her in the care of her temporarily, at least. And that might be the way that it would go. Maybe, maybe not. But at the very least, Lorelai could be creating a safe space in the hopes that it could be used for other people than just herself, including her younger sister. Problem is, I think he likes me more than I like him, but I have no time for romance right now. You know, I will go out with him if he ever asks, of course. This is always a little awkward because we really haven't been told what our feelings for him were. But, I mean, he just did get either smashed in the head or murdered for me, so I think in retrospect I probably should say I will go out with him if he ever asks, of course. And going out with somebody is not a huge ask. And if you put your life on pause, you'll never unpause it. There's a decent chance of that happening, so I'm going to go with this one.
You know, I will go out with him. If he ever asks, of course. He almost did today. But he chickened out at the last moment, I think.
Sounds like a decent bloke. Those overconfident macho types are not worth your time. Trust me.
Just realized. He's pretty much the only normal person I know.
Yeah, the whole course of events that happened after this day at work might have been completely different had you, instead of going straight home, instead gotten with Zach and simply gone on a date to like a pizza place or something, someplace cheap to celebrate. Maybe be a little bit aggressive herself and ask him out on a date to celebrate would be a great excuse. We are now being pigeonholed here into one of two other of the options. I've got too much poop at home to have friends.
I've got too much shit at home to have friends. Even my best mate Carrie never comes over anymore.
Oh, so we had a best friend called
It's fine,
Carrie.
though. I don't blame her.
You should try internet. It's what I do. I'm in this group and we talk about kids mostly.
What?
I can't go on the internet. My mum won't pay for the Wi-Fi. Wait,
Is she in
did
a
you say you got kids?
Yeah, I got 2 boys.
a parenting group? I
I
hope
was only
that's what they
17 when I
mean.
had Kieran. And Sam, only 2 years later.
You married then?
These
No.
wobbly angles are getting a little obnoxious, I would say, the zooming in and zooming
Me and
out.
you.
I know what they're trying
should
to
be
do here
friends.
with the flashes and the darkness
I
and all
agree.
that, but it's getting
Unless-
fairly repetitive, and maybe we should just have some scenes
Unless you'd rather be friends with Zoe.
as a point here. Like, this would have been a great scene to just be normal and not zoom in, zoom out, and not have the flashing light. Let's see. Do we want to say... well, we do have this special connection, me and her. Interesting. Let's see. Zoe's the head lady, right? I frankly probably would be nice to have a bit fewer people and fewer names being mentioned, or perhaps an artistic info chart where I could just like pause it and bring up a few pictures of different people, because we have been told the names of no less than let's see, 9, 10, 11. I'd guess about 11 people so far in this game, and that's probably only going to grow.
Maybe she's not all bad. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever be friends. But I definitely don't want to be anyone's enemy.
Exactly. So don't worry. It's all good, mate. It's all good.
Not incredibly weird
We should probably get
to
back
try
now.
to be friendly with a
It's time to
coworker,
see that new lady.
but
Okay.
it is also
I'll meet you outside her room. It's upstairs.
What's her name?
it would be quite the twist.
Oh, Greta, I think. Yeah, I remember someone's mentioned she was an artist, and she's got some creepy-ass paintings in her room. But she's new, so she hasn't got a name tag yet. Just look for the door with no name tag on it.
It would be an interesting twist if it turned out that this coworker was like a pedophile. But one mention and me misinterpreting the fact that she says she's on the internet and they talk mostly about kids in a darker way really just indicates how I'm just assuming everything that's said is going to be some hint to some darker idea, when I probably should give the characters a benefit of the doubt and be surprised. Like, this is a game where if you are surprised, that's probably for the better.
Cozy.
Right.
It must have been used for spraying plants and flowers.
We'll go ahead and use that. And there's no flowers to actually spray, so...
It leads back inside Pinecroft.
Yeah,
Okay.
we desperately need to get into some
Upstairs.
gameplay.
Door with no name tag.
It's not like we're finding a whole bunch of new things. Here's a lady that must have been from upstairs. These buildings definitely are just still like way too dark. And mostly just gonna skip things. Don't really see a reason to go to different places. We'll probably end up back in this place later on, or the world's gonna change and then we're gonna end up having to wander around anyways.
The name tag on this door is missing.
I guess Greta might be the cat lady character. And here we have some hand-drawn art. A lot of it. A lot of dark, grotesque imagery, which, yeah, that used to be all the style back in about the 1400s, I'd say. Before, like, the Renaissance. So she's just standing there naked. We've got now another creepy old naked lady.
Hello?
Get it out. I must get it out.
That's some nasty sound effects as she's scratching her face. It could be that all the monsters we see in this game are going to be more around the idea of the horrors of older people instead of being more of a assortment in the cat lady, which that is definitely
This is it. Rest in peace, my love.
a different type of story to tell.
Come on. Let's go, girls.
Very, very little
Laura,
horror
you
stories.
stay.
Um,
Look, in a place like this,
Yeah, there's very few scary
You see
stories
people
and
die.
horror stories around
Sometimes
old
a
age.
year goes by and they're all fine. And then you suddenly get 3 dead in 1 week. You never really get used to it, but it's something you have to accept if you want to work here. And most of all,
It's an interesting point
blame yourself.
to change the music
It
out.
was Greta's time to go. That's all it is. You think you're gonna be all right, mate?
It is not uncommon for someone to be moved into a facility, whether it's a nursing facility or a hospital, and for them to die fairly quickly. That's self-selecting because most of the people that get put in facilities were close to death anyways, but also just the change of environment, heating, the air, the water, the medicine, the level of care you're getting, and just emotional reasons. All of that change is really not helpful. So ideally, you'd want to be able to keep elderly people on the same schedule in their places where they are most comfortable in their houses if they can, but often their houses are not manageable. They can't keep them clean. They trip, they fall, they're too big, they're too far away. I have no idea why you would want to do this option at this point. It feels like there are often branching options, and it very well might have been better had they just crossed out these options for me, since based on my previous statements.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
It's kind of weird to have that
Let's go
conversation in
There's
the
still
room with the
lots to do.
dead body. And had I gone into that room earlier, would I
You
have
sure you'll be okay?
possibly interacted
Yeah.
with her more? Maybe, maybe not. We may also
I'll
find
be fine.
Greta and other people who have
Let's
died
just keep busy.
in the afterlife
What's next
scene.
to do?
Ugh, there's like a million things. But first, do you play chess?
Interesting. So we're getting a late musical section. Kind of wish this was subtitled. Remember, this was just one day. And she's standing on the chair. And she's hugging a client. Yeah, don't throw balls on at old ladies. See, this would make a lot more sense if this was a montage of working the job for several weeks or months or even a year or two. But that's not what happens. And this is just too much to happen in one day, frankly. I like the music here. It's definitely different from the music in The Cat Lady, though. This is way happier. That's quite the
Did you
montage.
see the lightning? It's gonna rain in a minute.
Well, that's just bloody fantastic, isn't it?
It's
And
so
another one.
weird to have.
Oh, come on. My back is aching. I just want to go home now.
It's really weird to have
Is there anything
an
left to do?
entire chapter, it feels
Nah.
like, built around.
They're all in bed now. We'll just hang around
just
the nurse's
working
station,
at a
try and
job.
keep busy and wait for the night stuff.
Let's go then. It's getting chilly out here.
I don't know why I picked up the spray bottle then. That's questionable. I still have it. I guess we're gonna have to find out what the deal with the spray bottle is next time. And like every time I save, it is really just showing how many breaks I'm taking between each gameplay. Well, anyways, that was an interesting hour, certainly, in the fact that there really wasn't that much that was horrific, other than the fears of getting older, which is a fear that Lorelai seems like she's not even going to have to be afraid of because she's already dead. But maybe that is the running narrative here, is unlike the cat lady who was old at the beginning of the story and wasn't really afraid of being older. Maybe Lorelai's running narrative is that she is afraid of getting older and becoming helpless and not really succeeding in life. But yeah, that is definitely a different story. I can't really say too much more. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.